Let's discuss some costly mistakes that we do make as managers. Delegation should be a very important aspect of your leadership. You have to delegate because you cannot do everything by yourself. You might not be the expert of everything. You have to delegate and get things done. Trust your employees to delegate. But sometimes what we do is once we delegate, we just abdicate. We just wash our hands. We don't want to follow through. We confuse monitoring with meddling. Monitoring is not meddling. You need to support because it is your responsibility once you delegate to see it through. Make sure it gets done and provide the support only as required by the employee. So, how are you going to help and support them without meddling in too much? First, what you can do is set milestone with expectations. And of course, you can agree upon frequent update sessions where you will be keep in touch and updated on what's going on with the project. And of course, when they're feeling challenged and also they have setbacks, you can offer their help to find solutions. But by not providing the solution, but by asking questions where they will find the solution on their own. The magic here is to make sure to improve their critical thinking skill rather than providing them a direct solution. Another topic we are going to discuss is the bottleneck in decision making. So, why we have this bottleneck in decision making? And most of the time, it is because managers are reluctant to provide the privileged access to their subordinate to retrieve information. What they don't understand is if the subordinates have this information, they can be more creative, they'll be more faster, they will not depend on the managers to make decision, and more or less their decision can be correct. So managers they need to trust their employees and provide the reasonable access to get the job done faster, accurately, and more creatively. What most managers do is they try to do everything by themselves without sharing information and making the employees depend on them. So they are getting to everything, every detail. So they spend more time doing what they are not supposed to do. They are spending more time doing what their subordinates supposed to do. What they don't realize is this type of behavior will completely burn them out. They will not have enough time to do what they're supposed to do because they are exhausted of doing all the little things what their subordinates are supposed to do. They're exhausted because they have to check and monitor every little thing, every little detail. Because they don't realize they have to spend at least 70% of their time to play the infinite game, not the finite game which is their subordinates supposed to play. As managers, our job is to harness the critical thinking. Our job is to provide them the right information, means of ways of doing things, so they will get the work done. They will improve their critical thinking. They will think on their own. They will find solution, more creative solution probably than us. How are we going to do this? First, we need to train our mind to lead with context, not control. We need to tell ourselves, we need to control our emotions to not to dictate their every action. Our job is to create the environment for them to enable the right behavior. That right behavior will help them to get the task done in a more efficient and effective way. And then we'll set clear clarity on where they can make decisions on their own and also where they need to reach the boss or the manager. In that way, they will know their limitations and they will work within the limitation. They will only approach you where they need your attention on things. Another addiction we have as managers is we are trying to dictate our subordinate actions by telling them how to do things. We have to limit ourselves just to tell them what to do and support that by why they have to do and let them surprise us with the results. That is a very good quality of a good manager because you need to give them the freedom to come up with their own solutions and results. So, how are we going to control our urge and not to tell them how to do things? What we can do is you just tell them the destination and let them to steer their own ship. We don't have to go and tell each and every aspect and explain how to do things. No, you just need to tell them what to do and why they have to do, and they will get us to the destination. Sometimes we urge for this perfection. We cannot do that with every other. We can't expect the perfectionism that we have to have with the others. So our desire to have for this perfectionism will block the others from getting the work done, because we try to be after them and try to control their every move and every output. We have to stop doing that. Then they will come up with their own creative ideas and ways of getting things done. Always remember, there is more to see than meet the eyes. Don't get blinded by just looking at the results. There's more than that. We always have to see how the results were achieved and who are in our team, who are the high performers, who are the low performers, and what kind of behavior that they bring into our team. Always remember, there is more to see than meet the eyes. Don't get blinded by just looking at the results. When we are blinded by the results, we don't see those bad apples. We don't see people who bring in the toxic behavior. They could be high performers or they could be low performers. But the toxic behavior that they cultivate will not help us in long term. We should address these issues immediately and directly with the individuals. We should not tolerate the toxic behavior. We should not tolerate the poor performers. We should address them. We should come to an agreement with them on how to eliminate this toxic behavior or the poor performing situation. And when we address these issues, we have to be very careful of the words that we choose. We have to tackle tactfully. We should not send out these emotionally charged words, because that can trigger negative emotions and it will make them defensive. So we should be very careful of the words that we choose to address the issues. The most important thing is we should provide constructive feedback with a clear expectation. They should understand what we expect from them and what are the changes that we desire from them, and some timelines, and when and how they will achieve those the changes that we expect from them. It's very important to communicate, provide the feedback, and get their response on them. One common mistake of the manager is to be overprotective of their employees. It is natural for them to be protective and shield them against probably overwhelming of requests and blocking them from having unnecessary information that can overload them. So it is important for managers to protect them or kind of shield them. But that can also lead to a toxic behavior if it done too much. Managers needs to separate this healthy interaction with overprotection. By overprotecting, sometimes we are blocking them from the necessary exposure. There is certain necessary exposure that they need to have as employee. We should not block that. And sometimes that will also stop them from getting and learning some other valuable skills, such as communication skills, conflict resolution skills, and also delegation skills. And most importantly, that can create this unnecessary problem with the collaboration with other teams, because they will create boundaries within the team, as like my team and your team, and they will stop working with each other to achieve the common goals, because they will have prioritized. They will always look after their own team's goals and their needs, not the common goal, which is the organization's goal. So we need to explain our staff on this healthy collaboration. See, explain them how important it is for them and benefit for them to work together as a team and be aligned as a team and work towards a common goal. So it's very important them to collaborate and work together. And we have to work as a team. It is very important for our organization to work each and every department as a team. A manager should not try to be a gatekeeper. Most of the managers, as we explained earlier, acting as gatekeepers and trying to shield their team from others. No, you have to let them work and collaborate with others and work towards the common goal. or the large interest of the organization. So, my final thoughts would be if you could avoid these mistakes and try to find remedies to tackle the challenges, I believe you can be that manager that all the employees look up to and expect to have, the leader that everybody will cherish and value.